Good evening. We have a couple of DVDs to update today. First up, this is actually not DVDs. It is just something I purchased for a friend. You know, one of those... Oh, yeah, there's two of them in here. It's a PNY 2... It's just 2 gigabytes of memory for my friend's computer. Nothing too complicated. So let's get to the stuff that's more related to... Let's see, it does not want to disconnect. Oh look, this looks like it can separate. Well, okay. It probably didn't intend to be separable like that, but it can be. It is. So who cares? Now these are not the new releases. These are a couple of DVDs I added onto the release to add it, and this would be new DVDs for the week. It's a very busy evening, you know. So let's see, and then I got 2 DVDs that I purchased from last week. So first up, we have Naruto Shippuden DVD set 7. Then we got Allison and Lilia Generation 2, which would be the second season, or the second group of 13 episodes of this. I still have not watched the first half, so I've only got a very vague idea of what they're about. Let me see, hold on. Looks like this is 316. One of the things that arrived today was Virtua Fighter Round 1. This contains 12 episodes on it. Total running time of 300 minutes, so as you can see, it's very compact. I have no clue if it's got any relation to the game Virtua Fighter. I think it does, but I don't know. Now, round 2 goes all the way up to episode 24, but I believe it's a 36 episode series, so they never did finish releasing all of this, if that's the case. Unless there's something wrong with the information on HDTV, and I'd be really surprised to hear that. But of course, you know, I don't leave my releases at just those. I also got Ghost Sweeper Mikami movie. Now, there was some confusion. I think DVD Aficionado and maybe Amazon thought this was volume 1 of the series. So I did some peeking around. It looks like, as far as I can tell, it's the movie and not the series that was released more recently. So it's been added to my collection, and I finally ordered another copy of Project Arms, the second chapter, volume 2. So now that completes all of Project Arms. That would be all of this week's new releases. Yeah, looking around real quick, I don't see any new releases. Any other uncovered ones that I haven't gotten to yet. What a week. So I've been home all week. Basically my car, I might have mentioned it in the last update, that my car dumped all of its oil into a Tiger Mart parking lot. I finally got it back today. There was basically a lot of coincidences along the way to just make things take longer and longer. Well, first of all, because it happened on the 4th of July weekend, I couldn't get it into their place until Tuesday instead of Monday, and then of course that also pushed out the day they would be able to look at it, so they were pretty booked, and they couldn't get to it until Friday. Then Friday they were trying to contact me, but their database actually had my home phone and my cell phone mixed up, so they thought my cell was my home and my home was my cell, so they were really trying to call the home phone, which is normally not a problem, except in this certain case it was, because the day before my mom's mother, you know, my grandmother, had died, so there was a lot of phone calls going on that morning, so they weren't able to contact me until sometime in the late afternoon to verify that the changes I wanted, that they needed to be made, that I was okay with them making it and understood the price, etc., etc. You know, I'm pretty sure they can't start working on that for their own sake, because they're covering their asses, so to speak. Okay. So that pushed the car repair from Friday to Monday, but oh well. Monday comes and no update on the car, so when I talked to them this morning, what had happened is I took them in for the oil thing, but they were also going to do some recall work, and one of those things involved taking the glow plugs out of my car, and the top of one of them, well, they were replacing the glow plugs, and one of the tops of the glow plugs fell into the engine, which required them to pull out the engine, open it up, and dig the part out, unless they had like a super strong magnet. But let's face it, if it was like ceramic or something, they wouldn't be able to do that. But anyways, that basically meant that I didn't get my car back until just a couple hours ago. 4 or 5 hours ago, somewhere around there. Still crazy, you know. So I've been home for a week, and I guess I actually did go out twice with people. The first time was a very hair-raising experience, riding with somebody who's still learning how to drive. And the other time was actually to get something for the new TV. And I guess before we look at that, oh look, this doesn't look like Yu-Gi-Oh! The complete third season used acceptable condition. Look, that's just one DVD. In fact, if I were to guess, I would say that's Season 3 DVD 5. Well, that's great. Anyways, I'm working on getting Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 3, so I ordered another one of those, and I'm still talking to Amazon about this thing. But I'm still taking care of that. Oh, and as for, I guess if I mention the car, anybody that's curious, you don't have to ask about what happened to it. It's simple. I hit a bump or a dip or something and cracked the oil pan. So, you know, it might have taken a number of impacts to do that. I don't know. I usually don't drive over that dip a whole lot, but I'm guessing that this time it was just one too many times, and it was just coincidence that it was 2 weeks after oil was changed. Funny stuff, I guess. But yeah, anyways, that's all that stuff. Now, I've been asked to show my new TV, so let's really quickly take a look at it. So before I turn it on, here's the TV itself. As you can see, 55 inches. It's kind of hard to measure, of course, on the camera, but I don't think a lot are actually designed this way. I don't know the actual model number, so I'll make sure I put that in the comments. And I guess I'll link it to Amazon or something like that if y'all wanted to take a look at the page I ordered from and see the exact specs. But the basic idea is, well, okay, it's really hard to tell here, but, you know, since you're just seeing a bunch of black. But basically, it is more screen than it is TV, more than usual, that is. Basically, that means that the, if I go to the anime watching computer here, you should be able to see that there's not much of an edge to the TV at all, and that's just freaking awesome. In fact, it only looks like there's more edge than there might actually be because of the Wii sensor bar on the top. The remote is crazy. Let's see. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, hold on. I was experiencing a strange bug, so I've been playing careful here, but this remote has, it's crazy. It feels much different than anything else I've ever done and played with, and it's got a QWERTY keyboard on the back. And this is the TV remote, the remote that came with the TV. Now, for the reason why I switched to PC, it looks like I have an issue I have not talked to Samsung about yet, where the TV doesn't seem to like the power on if the input source it is turning on to has actual video data coming in from it. It doesn't matter, light, dark, whatever, it just doesn't seem to like input for some reason. And I haven't talked to Samsung about that yet. It just turns itself back off after that, but that's a quick workaround. So as you can see, this is a PC. Now I switched from a VGA to an HDMI cable because apparently Samsung is not very good at handling VGA input. This is my second Samsung TV and my second attempt to do VGA input with them, and they just never seem to get it right. My first one, which was 5 years old, you know, the TV that broke was 5 years old. It pretty much only had 3 supported resolutions, none of which were 16:9 one, which was just stupid for 16:9 television. And now this one, when it detects the size, it automatically assumes it is a 4:3, except it displays the 4:3 in a 16:9 setting, so I can't stretch it to fill the whole screen like it should. So, Hisense, good job, Hisense. Y'all made a TV that just fucking knows how to talk over VGA. So I upgraded to HDMI since that would be better. And as you can see, the video quality is better, but I ran into a ton of known issues, and I don't know whose fault it is, where the analog audio is not playing on the television, and I don't know if it's the card sending it, even though I modified the EDID of the TV in the Windows registry to say it doesn't support HDMI audio, even though the TV is advertising that it does. And if NVIDIA is sending it anyways, and that's bad, and maybe the SPDIF signal isn't being transmitted correctly, in which case it would actually be Realtek screwing up, or maybe the motherboard manufacturer driver, maybe the HDMI or the DVI to HDMI up converter I got just so happens to be one that doesn't support HDMI audio, which I think is absurd, because as far as I know, they've always supported them no matter how cheap they were, except maybe at some random point in the past, and I don't think this machine is old enough for that. And the only thing I can really fault Samsung for, well, okay, there could be a Samsung bug where it thinks there's something plugged into VGA even though there isn't, and so it's using the analog audio there. In which case that would be a bug on Samsung's part, but maybe that's not it, and maybe the problem is just that Samsung's highly featureful TV just should have included the ability to say, oh, I'm using this video input, use this audio source, please. Something like that would have been great. Oh well. What I ended up doing is just below the television. You can probably not see it too well thanks to the glare from the television, but I bought speaker. I wanted to buy a sound bar or something for the TV anyways, and this one's deep enough that I could set the TV on top of it. It's not too much smaller than the table the TV was on anyways. You know, I've even got my own little simple remote. I don't know if I can actually do a really good example of the output on the TV, but I can talk about some interesting features. Specifically, it's a 3D TV. It also does it can do some stuff where it upconverts, it interpolates some scanning and moving scenes such that things display at 240 hertz, which is what this TV is capable of. Which is very strange, and as interesting as it is, it's also a bit disconcerting. I was originally watching Fushigi Yugi off of my Blu-ray player, and it was doing that even to an old 90s anime, so it didn't always do it perfectly, since there were some places that flickered a bit more thanks to the old video technology, but it was really strange. Although, you know, upconverting stuff like that, the TV also has another feature like that, and that's there's a 3D button down here. It's a 3D TV. So if I just press 3D, I can select the different 3D modes here. And this first one here is actually rather entertaining. It's a 2D to 3D thing, which basically tries to... it tries to guess what the 3D image should be based upon just the 2D image. I don't know if it also uses moving frames to determine stuff. It doesn't seem to, since it seems to get some simple things wrong, but at the same time it creates some excellent 3D effects in certain situations. So I've been able to play with it even though I don't have any actual 3D content. And the other two things you saw are actually really quite simple. This one should create a blurred image that y'all may or may not be able to see, but the basic idea is it treats the left side of the screen as the left eye image and the right side of the screen as the right eye image, and it stretches them so that they cross over each other, and your glasses will figure it all out. You can also do it where it treats the top image and the bottom image in similar ways. You know, I've seen people actually take advantage of this to create to take a split screen game and to set it up so that somebody has glasses that can only see the left image and the other person has glasses that can only see the right image, so that each person can only see their screen. And that's a pretty neat concept. But I don't since this camera isn't 3D capable or whatever, there's not really any ability for me to show it to y'all. So at best I could say it's an interesting effect. You can definitely see that it's doing stuff, but you can also see where it gets stuff wrong. It doesn't always jump out, but it's there. So it's just an interesting feature to play around with for now, and then one of these days, if I ever feel the need to jump to 3D content, I feel this TV can do it. It came with two glasses, so maybe I should buy 2 more just to make sure I have 4 of them, I guess. Otherwise, it was really interesting playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl in 3D. Oh well. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I've recorded a ton of videos, so this week's update's going to be pretty big, I guess. So I should stop now. That's this week's Inside the Box, or not Inside the Box, but this week's anime DVD collection update, and including the TV update.